What's being dubbed as Arc Week in Destiny 2 has brought a new set of weapon catalysts. Among them is the Suros Regime Catalyst, which we'll be taking a look at today. This is a weapon catalyst that I've been excited for quite some time, but never got released along with the original ones. I think that Suros Regime is a good weapon, probably the best auto rifle, but it still had one main flaw, which was its terribly awkward recoil direction. Thankfully though, the Masterwork Catalyst solves this issue. Let's start by taking a look at the perks on the Suros Regime. First of all, we have Suros Legacy. The bottom half of each magazine does bonus damage and has a chance to return health on kill. Now, although it says it has to be the bottom half of the mag, it's incorrect and it can trigger health regen on any kill. The bonus damage at the bottom half of the mag works nearly identically to a perk called High Impact Reserves, where the damage ramps up the further down you go in the mag, and it doesn't ultimately affect the time to kill, but it changes and alters your critical hit ratio. We have two firing options, spinning up and dual speed receiver. With spinning up, holding down the trigger increases your rate of fire. Natively, it behaves as a 600 RPM archetype auto, but the first 12 shots will be at 600 RPM. The next, if you're holding down the trigger, will be at 720 RPM, and all shots after that will be at 900 RPM. It's between a 0.8 second to 0.6 second optimal time to kill, taking 9 crit 1 body, and a 1.3 to 0.93 base time to kill, taking about 15 body shots, and this is all dependent on what rate of fire you're at. With dual speed receiver, or as it was called in Destiny 1, focus fire, when aiming down the sights, your weapon's rate of fire will slow while the weapon damage increases. This makes Suros Regime behave as a 360 RPM auto, a high impact auto while ADS, and give it a 0.83 second optimal time to kill and 1.33 second base time to kill. The optimal time to kill taking 5 crit 1 body, and the base time to kill taking 9 body shots. Suros Ascendance, the Masterwork Catalyst for Suros Regime, grants an increased chance for kills to regenerate health, and also has a hidden recoil direction buff or counterbalance effect. Without the Masterwork, I tested on a small sample of 50 kills and the health regen triggered on only 19 of them. And with the Masterwork, it triggered on 30 out of the 50 kills. I predict that without the Catalyst, you have roughly a 30 to 40% chance of getting health regen on kill, and with the Catalyst, a 50 to 60% chance of getting health regen on kill for about a 20% difference. Although in-game the Masterwork makes no mention of it, in the database and on Destiny Item Manager, there is mention of the Masterwork affecting recoil direction. Even without the stat being changed or affected in any way, it stays at 50 recoil direction. Once I Masterworked the weapon, it did feel very consistent, but to eliminate any sort of potential placebo, I tested it in-game to see that there was indeed a drastic difference between the recoil direction of a Masterworked Suros Regime and one that isn't Masterworked. The Masterwork Suros had far more vertical recoil direction with very little variance compared to the non-Masterwork, which had a heavy drift to the left and a lot more variance. So should you use spinning up or dual speed receiver? Spinning up requires you to commit to the entire mag to gain the most benefit of it, but also, and more importantly, has less damage per bullet, which I don't really like about it. Auto rifles inherently suffer against hand cannons from having low damage per shot, and as a result do poorly against players utilizing their cover and effectively peek shooting, which hand cannons take advantage of best. Higher damage per bullet allows you to get better damage output in a shorter period of time and requires less shots overall to land for a good time to kill. Dual speed only requires landing 5 crit 1 body for that 0.83 second TTK or 9 crit for a 1.3 second base TTK, which is quite comparable to that of a good hand cannon or some popular hand cannons, with a relatively minimal amount of shots needed to be landed considering it's an auto rifle. But why exactly would you use Suros? Well, what makes Suros great to me is that it has the TTK and DPS of a high impact auto rifle without the drawbacks of normal legendary high impact auto rifles, things like low stability, weird recoil, and poor handling or poor reload speed. It has an excellent stat package with laser beam stability, and now with the Masterwork, an incredibly consistent vertical recoil pattern, still maintaining its good overall range, handling, reload, and aim assist to add on to that. I think Suros is an excellent rogue or anti-meta option that can potentially go toe-to-toe with popular hand cannons. So if you're not a hand cannon person or you're looking for something new, I'd recommend trying this. Funny enough, Suros is actually the weapon I use most once the weapon changes hit that were leading into Forsaken and past the launch of Forsaken to obtain my Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten early on. I stopped using it because it fell short eventually to hand cannons like Ace or Luna's and Not Forgotten, mainly because it had an awkward recoil direction and drift. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as these weapons, but I think it definitely gives those weapons a run for its money, especially now that the recoil direction has been fixed with the Masterwork. I think it's the only viable auto rifle, and like I said, is now an excellent anti-meta rogue option. Hand cannon flinch can really hurt the time to kill of autos, especially this one, so I would recommend using auto unflinching, as well as headshots seem significantly easier with auto rifle targeting to net you a faster time to kill, so I'd recommend using both those perks along with this weapon. In my limited time using the Masterwork Suros Regime, I'm really enjoying it and finding it to be, again, a great anti-meta option, and I'm excited to use it more in the future. And seeing how this might compare to something like a Luna's or Not Forgotten, and how it competes with them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more of my content, I stream every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Drewskys. Link is in the description. Say hi if you end up checking it out, but if not, all good, and thank you for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.